Hello there. Welcome to Good Morning X Take 3. I've tried to launch this a few times. Hopefully, third time is the charm here. I'm Misha. We are today and playing some Civilization 6 here. So I'll be. Oh my god, that gave me a heart attack. So I can't tell if like the audio is stopping or something. So I'm gonna do a sound check later. But like we're gonna be talking about Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, and the state of the 2020. In parallel, we're gonna be playing kind of some sex. So there's gonna be 1 second as we sound check because he's one stopping or something. We tried to launch it several times now. It's been very frustrating, but we definitely appreciate your stream spaces. You name it. Plus stopping or it's very frustrating, but we stream spaces. I'm not sure if that's how it is on my audio. I'm not sure. It's a little bit frustrating, guys. I don't know. Hopefully, it's coming through all right. So I wanted to talk about. That's what my hair is a bit. In particular, I wanted to talk about kind of like what I'm seeing in the polling and whether or not I think it's serious. So I think that the polling is probably, for the most part, accurate in that it's a lot closer than before. So I don't think that Donald Trump has, anywhere close. I'm just loud in this too. Like it's one of those mornings where you just have a bad vibe. That's what I'm down. Okay, I'm going to be talking most of the time. I don't want to hear other stuff. Confirm. Like I saw some polling today where it was like Donald Trump is trailing Kamala Harris, something like. It's really weird. Maybe there's something wrong with the audio here. I'm not sure, but when I'm gonna do another check on this. Hopefully this is not something on my end, guys. I don't know exactly, but let's see. Open live video. It's really weird. Hopefully it's not something on my end, guys. I don't know exactly. Okay, I think it actually comes through pretty all right. So yes, that poll I was talking about, a poll from Marquette. I'm not sure how reputable a polling thing is, but it has Donald Trump at 42%, Kamala Harris at 50%, and 6%. And I just don't like it. I don't think it's that close. I'm surprised it was that close. Um, I think it's closer to being about. I think it's closer to a little bit of a temporary bump. So I'm gonna give credit to Kamala. I think her campaign team, at least her digital team so far, has been. I think that they've managed to capitalize on the momentum from the announcement that they would need, and also they did something that was very important, which was trying to minimize Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, unfortunately, the attempt on his life, and after the RNC, it kind of just seemed like it was a walk in the park to victory. And I think what we're noticing now is it's not quite. We're not going that will be that will be the case anymore. And that was to be expected. I mean, like, I think that people expected, like, after Kamala had dropped out, that there would be a polling bump for the Democratic ticket. But I don't think people expected that Joe Biden would drop out exactly when he did, even though he was embattled. And because he did, end up dropping out, which ended up happening as a result is, people went from seeing this decrepit old man to seeing someone who, is just more energetic with Kamala Harris. Like, I think there's more people that are. I'm just thinking of a teenage girl, right? Like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old. Granted, teenagers don't vote, but like they're gonna look at Kamala Harris and be way more excited than Joe Biden. Period. So after Kamala got the nod, I feel like that took a lot of the wind out of Trump's sails. But I think what also happened though is people are unwilling to admit that this might be. So watched the other day, and I don't know like if that is actually as moderate as she thinks and like her team thinks, because it's the stuff with like kind of like you start LGBT don't what was it, Alliance or whatever in 1999. That who was the governor during 2020? Well, the governor was of Minnesota. The governor was Tim Walz, and like I think that you can use a lot of his statements as clips if you're the Trump campaign, and also I think that like I understand why they didn't pick Shapiro, but I think Shapiro would have been a lot harder person to attack weird thing involving a case that like prosecute. Yeah, so those are my initial thoughts kind of on the race. I think it's closer to being I think that some people are freaking out a little bit too much, and actually like on both sides they're getting into the role of like they're trying to be surrogates, which is fine. Like people are surrogates, I guess. Like if they say, at least my Democratic friends, guys, if you're gonna do this, you can't complain when conservatives pushing a narrative that JD Vance like did stuff with a couch based on the random post. The only reason you're saying it is because it's like Kamala Harris keeps repeating it because they want you to think JD, and also like the influencers and stuff are repeating it. It's like I say it, and it's like, guys, I know you're smart, and then also you're gonna, faces and whatnot, saying like, oh yeah, like we are gonna have truthful discussions about 2024. And it's like, look, if you don't disclose that you are a political operative, I disclose that I am politically involved. I don't consider myself as much an operative per se right now, but like, I disclose that because now if someone is like literally working with my Harris digital social media team, like has been going to the meetings and whatnot, I think you should probably say that on your spaces, and probably for the Republicans as well too. But I've just been noticing a lot more kind of like, I don't know. Again, it feels very artificial at times when a lot more kind of um, just like weird posts that don't make sense that are like trying to pump up Kamala, and oftentimes are using lies. And it's like it's the same thing with Project 2025 too. It's like I don't have discussions as much about Project 2025 because I already actually talked about it. I've talked about it like a bunch of times actually. So it's like I think that there's some weird stuff in Project 2025. I think I agree with a lot of it. Like there are a few things I disagree with. That being said, though, this is like a Heritage Foundation, like little group. Like and even if they were putting together a series of plans, this is something that happens with like there's transition teams, there's people putting teams they want the president to do and all. And this man, Project 2025 came out and that's a big reason why I don't love talking about the politics as much on spaces because I have to kind of acknowledge everyone's opinion. That's great, and that is just like I don't know. I just feel disconnected from it because I notice like, hey, the reason you're focusing so much on Project 25 is because the Democrats want to focus so much on it. They're pushing it so over the news, more or less. And it's important to probably discuss, but I think what I'm more interested in doing compared to other people on X is discussing the political theory and kind of the game theory logic of it, rather than kind of like who I want to win, like what team I want to win, putting like, a Trump or Kamala jersey on and trying to cheer for them. Like, no, I can do that stuff and like, I can make my influence in my own ways. And sometimes I reply and stuff with my views, but like, I don't know. I think it's just like a lot of people on X are putting on a team jersey and they're not if they think that they're doing the same tactics as the other side, quote unquote, the other side, then they're probably blindly um they're probably blind. They lack self awareness. But also there's people where it's like like I see people who put themselves in this team solely to try and get social media views, impressions, and all that. And I just think that's very icky. Like I've actually told political campaigns, don't repost me and stuff before, not because I don't want to be associated with their campaign. If I donate to someone or whatever, I definitely probably am a supporter of them, right? But the thing is, like, I'm not here for the clout, the impression side. Like when I do, I try to keep it high level and I try to explain my thoughts. I don't try to, force you to see my point of view because I actually don't know. Like, do I have a point of view that I'm trying to tell you right now? My point of view is really like, hey, here's what I think of the data, but I actually don't have that. If you I think that for the most part, like, society, like, are undecided. We also have a lot of people that are not um, happy with like either of these candidates, and as a result of that, Jimmy likes to joke, X Society, Blanco's networks. He likes to joke like, "Hey, like I want to reign in God. I want to reign in God on the ballot." That makes I want to reign in God. I think that there's a lot of people that are kind of looking at this and feeling like they're not particularly represented right now. And yeah, I want to be careful when I say this part, because I'm not people. So from some black women, this is X Society black women. What I've heard is she really like the optimal candidate for black women? I don't think they offenses and all of that. So it's like the quote day one said this: she's black, but she might not be black. Or black women don't view her as black. That was an interesting thing to me. I do think there's a lot of people that do view her as black, and I think that's part of the reason why the Trump campaign as well has been trying to get into the whole is she Indian or is she black thing, because I think that while there's a lot of people that are multiracial, it's a lot rarer. God, the audio on this is still really rare. Wow, all the way down. Why is it so loud? One second. It's like one of those mornings, and it's like really, really loud audio. Like whenever I move it just a bit. See, okay, sound effect. I would think like turning mask volume down would fix this, right? Okay, does that fix it? Like, so let me like blast my ear now. Okay, that's better. So, I again, getting back to the point, I think what some people are saying, but then there's also some other people where it's like, you know, they think that the black Indian thing is a good thing, and it's like it represents multiracialism and all of that. But like, I think overall, from a campaign strategy perspective, specifically a campaign strategy perspective, is that Kamala, well, she doesn't want to be viewed as Indian, at least for this an African American woman versus coming out as an Indian American woman. And there's if this is 30 years ago, she'd probably try to tailor herself one way or the other because the media wouldn't be following everything as closely. You wouldn't have all these social media clips. So, for example, she could have some videos where she quote unquote acts more Indian, depending on the setting. Maybe if she's in a more Indian heavy dominant area of the country versus like another area that might not be as might be more African American. And the thing is, though, everyone has clips today. Everyone is a sleuth. Everyone's looking for a gotcha. The audio cut out. So, and we are having technical difficulties, but yeah, that's a little bit on the comma. And let's see what else I want to discuss. But before I do that, let's do a sound check here. But it's tough to tell. It's like I don't know if it's my when I'm streaming it, but let me try opening a live video here. The audio keeps like crashing. It's tough to tell. It's like I don't know if it's my when I'm streaming it, but let me try opening a live video here. Maybe it's Civ 6. Maybe I should not do this, or maybe it's this. Done with this. I don't know. The audio keeps like crashing. It's tough to tell. It's like I don't know if it's my when I. Okay, I'm gonna exit this game for a bit. So I think the game is giving you some problems. So I want to go. Let's go to X and kind of look at more some stuff on the news. So we tried to do Civ guys, but this ended up being more of a hurdle or hassle than it was worth. Oh, here's Amber Champagne. Support small businesses, buy American-made products. Share if you do this, integrate. 100%. Support small American, small made in the USA products. That, and I'm gonna exit this completely. Exit. Yeah, I think that this is going to work better if I just don't have it up for some reason. Maybe it's using like a ton of RAM or something. But whenever I'm like playing it, it ends up making the audio a lot more choppy. See, like this is much better already. I can already tell with the audio. So yeah. Then what else do I have to do? So what else do I have to do? I'm like talking to myself about myself. You ever do that? You talk to yourself about yourself, but it's like not as good because you're on stream. So then you have to actually realize like, oh shit, I talked about like something that the audience has no idea what the heck I'm even referencing. So yeah, I'm looking for right now what I'm doing is just a quick tangent. Is I'm looking for this badge I got. I got a badge I had to like destroy because I need a refund because unfortunately I will not be able to attend Animate NYC, which I was originally planning to. So that's a bummer. But oh, here it is. Perfect. So yeah, the badge is really, really, really cool. Maybe I'll keep it. Can I actually keep it and not give it back? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go all the way into excuse me into New York. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So back to the stream here. So let's look at Grok. Look at a few more things. Trump's press conference because one man's ego is another man's news cycle. In a stunning display of self-promotion, President Trump announced a general news conference at his well, I don't think this is like weird for Trump to do. A news conference at his luxurious Mar-a-Lago estate. Sources close speculate that the conference will feature groundbreaking revelations on topics ranging from the best way to comb. Wait, what? This is weird. That's a weird way that Grok put it together. So essentially, guys, Grok puts together this stuff, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like this does not make sense at all. But yeah, this is Donald Trump post from his Truth Social. I'm following this, right? I'm not? Okay, I should follow this account. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want to have to go to Truth every time to see what he's saying. Yeah, so that will be at 2 p.m. It is only 11 a.m., so we have some time until that. I don't know if I will be streaming until 2 a.m. At 2 p.m. God. Again, the first show back for Good Morning X, it's when I can barely speak. But we're just having some fun this morning. We might be doing spaces later. Oh, I want to give a quick update on Clark West Cooper. Okay, Clark West Cooper here. So our man Clark, he actually got into a little bit of trouble because he told Brian Krasenstein something that X interpreted as a possibly a threat, and it wasn't. It was kind of like he replied to a post, and it wasn't at all a threat. So he got suspended for like a week. So he's gonna actually be back like today or tomorrow. So we're gonna be doing X Society Truth Towers. That's why we haven't been having that as recently. If you're missing out on X Society Truth Towers, also let's go very quickly to our man Jay Blanco. So Jay Blanco, Jimmy Rothschild, guys, he is very excited. You know, he's doing a bunch of stuff here. Like, get into it. You know, follow the stuff he's doing. Come to Chatter. That's another cool thing. If you want to come to Chatter, guys, there's a heads up on our communities. I can actually show you this here, X Society. Ooh, we have a bunch of new members. We should approve this, right? Let me approve that on a different screen so I don't get any bad looks for unfortunately getting the wrong for like denying someone or something. Not that I deny people. I usually just like I check if someone's a bot, so it's a little bit weird if I go through all their accounts because it puts them all on the screen there. So I'm doing that on my side computer here. After that, you know, these people are fine. I think these people are fine. Yeah, all these people are fine. Yeah, so if you want to post in X Society, guys, you're welcome to post in X Society. We like post a ton of things here. Oh, we should pin something. Let's see, what should we pin? So wait, a lot of these are me that are posting, but you know we have this man here. We got let's chat about it. Let's put this here. We'll pin it to community time, or do we want to pin it to community time one? because every time we pin it, it sends a notification. So it's kind of like you want to use your pin strategically if you're a community. But this is another cool thing, guys. We're on Chatter. So Chatter is this app from Nelson, and like it's cool where you can essentially stream, kind of like you would on a Discord room. If anyone's ever used Discord before, where you can put in like like screen share and whatnot, kind of like what I'm doing right now on this stream. And like you can watch movies here, watch shows, all of that. And then you can speak as well, and you can go live with it, which I think is kind of cool. Like I can go live with my video, just kind of jump in like on the fly, which I think is very nice compared to other options on the market right now. And saying other options in the market, what does that mean? That means specifically like Spaces. Really, I think that Spaces is great sometimes, but something I find very tricky with Spaces is if you start a live video space, you can't switch back to an audio one and vice versa. Well, let me rephrase that. If you're on live video space, like a space with video, you can turn off your camera, okay? But let's say you start an audio space. For some reason, you can't add video down the road. So what if I started an audio space here, because my room is messy, and then I was out by the park, and I'm like, hey, I want to show people this, so I turn on my video. Like that's the sort of stuff I hope that X, really improves the spaces. I think that there's just a lot of things that have there hasn't been the progress that I've hoped for with Spaces, and that's part of the reason why we do, I think more of these live streams actually is because I think we find that the live streams, especially when we are able to bring people on and be social, which is something we're trying to do here. I think they tend to do pretty well. Another thing though, guys, is like we are building X Society here. X Society is also what you kind of want to, what you want to make it. So we don't force people to come do anything on behalf of us. We're not going to get into flame wars and ask you to speak on our behalf. If someone has an issue with someone, they can handle it individually. At least that's my perspective. But I think what X Society allows us to do is bring together a lot of people, and sometimes people who don't quite fit in with society to have conversations that are not being had. Liberals, conservatives, the like, all of that. And like Jimmy and I are very different people. Oftentimes we have a lot of different friends going into this project, and I think that so far I think it's been a great way to connect people. And once in a while you get people that are disappointed, angry, whatever, they leave X Society. And I get that, but for the most part, I encourage people not to fight on spaces when we can. Try to work through stuff and all that. But yeah, this is a kind of you can join a room on Chatter, just watch, and I think it's very cool. So anyone needs a Chatter invite, I can hook you up to send me a DM or at reply me. I can get you a Chatter invite. Other things you want to look at here. So let's go to explore. I want to do a quick look. Nixon's 50th resignation anniversary. Let's look at this. I want to play the video. There was a cool video I wanted to play there. Here we go. All right, so let's play the video of Richard Nixon resigning. Yes. Oop, my bad. My bad. Guys, that was Richard Nixon there. So Richard Nixon, he resigned on August 8th, 1974. And there's actually been, I think, something interesting that I've noticed with Nixon, which is the rehabilitation of Nixon's image. So there's a lot more people, particularly conservatives, that are pushing this this view, or arguing the historical evidence that it was more of a coup d'état against Nixon and that he never should have been forced out. I'm not an expert on that, but I think it's interesting what Roger Stone is saying here. And at the end of the day, whenever someone is targeted in politics, for the most part, there's often someone else that's attached to it that has a goal. So like people are trying to get Nixon out of it. Does that mean he probably did some stuff? Does that mean he did stuff that was wrong? Yeah, he did. But I think the Republicans' argument is that you know, he shouldn't have been forced out. And I think that I think it was maybe Sean Hannity or someone else argued the point that if Nixon was president today, he would never resign. Kind of like in this new modern era where you're able to kind of fight back a lot more. Because and then personally, I think for the most part, guys, I think that being the president, like I think all these people have stuff on them. I don't think anyone good ever truly becomes president. I think actually Jimmy Carter was a good person, but you know, like I think everyone has stuff on them. Everyone has some shit on them, and that's kind of how I view it. So that's why I'm able to kind of get into this without getting too lost, because I can have these conversations and like kind of try to look at it objectively. Should Trump be impeached? A lot of people say he should have been impeached. They're pushing it and whatnot. But the fact that Trump was able to push back against it, it actually kind of showed, and I'm going back to like 2016 through 2020 here, guys. The fact that Trump was able to push back against it and kind of win against those impeachment, whatever convictions or hearings, is really kind of, I think, the norm in politics going forward, which is if you are threatened or your back is against the ropes, you are not going to tap out. You are going to keep fighting until literally like your brain is splattered across the boxing ring, more or less. That's kind of what politics is nowadays, and I think that actually is what happened with Biden. If I'm being honest, I think that's what happened with Biden, where a lot of people say like, "Oh, Biden was old and all this." True, but I also think Biden did not want to leave at all. Biden was in his kind of Delaware bunker and all that. Uh, and he was like kind of working with Hunter and Jill, trying to put together a plan to stay in office. So Joe Biden was using his own bag of tricks to try and defend his position as the party's nominee. The fact of the matter is, though, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, they just have a lot more weight behind them, and they were able to kind of stop us. They were able to say, hey, if you're a congressman or senator, you can say Joe needs to resign, all of that. So like Joe went down fighting, but it's just an example of how if you're going to be forced out of the ticket, whether it's being, called mentally incompetent in the case of Biden or Trump, people are saying like, I guess like, he shouldn't be even able to run according to the 14th Amendment. Well, you're just going to encounter people fighting at this point. Like they are not going to accept that. And I think that's going to be the norm of politics until we have something that just de-escalates things. And I think that's unfortunate, though, because I do think that there's going to be situations in the future where some people do some stuff that is really, really bad as president and probably does, deserve to be tried and convicted. I don't think that's necessarily the case here with Trump, even if you view it as the most extreme form of something like an insurrection, which I do not. Even if you view it that way, I don't think that is necessarily enough to lock up a president. But let's say there might be a president that does an attack on U.S. soil or something. I'm just thinking in a theoretical world, 50 years from now, like it is kind of, I think, the rabbit's out of the hat, or it's too late to put the genie back in the bottle. That people realize it's going to be almost impossible to kind of convict the president of anything because everyone's going to be so suspicious that it's politically motivated. I don't think we're in the 20th century anymore. I don't think we're in the 1900s anymore, where people are able to kind of like, have this uni party of sorts. I think that we're really fragmented it into essentially four little parties: two establishment, Republican, Democrat kind of normies, like the Lindsey Grahams of the world, if you're thinking of like who I'm talking about on the Republican side. And you have kind of like the more MAGA end. You have more of the kind of I don't want to call it woke. I want to call it farther left, or like I'll call it socialist end. Socialist end is probably pretty accurate there. Like those people, like the socialist people, are so different from the MAGA people that there never is going to be enough trust. And because I think that enough people have been kind of moved to one extreme or the other, it means that there's not even going to be it's going to be very hard to force people to come to the middle. Like people are going to be entrenched in their beliefs no matter what, and they're going to be in their echo chambers and surrounded by people that are saying similar things that they think and they say, because things like social media algorithms just happen to push that across their feed. And as an example as well, when we talk about threads, guys, I want to talk about threads quickly. And I know it's weird to talk about that on X, um, where like, it's what is this? I want to talk about this next. But threads. So here's the thing with threads. So Threads' algorithm is very sensitive, and essentially, if you interact with something, it tells you like, "Hey, you want to see more of this, right?" And you interact with it more. So I tested something where it's like I opened the app, and the first stuff I saw was Twitter versus Threads. So I only replied to a few of those posts, and then since I kept doing that for days, that was all I would actually see. So in reality, going outside my echo chamber and trying to look at it more objectively, once I started interacting with a wider variety of posts, that went away. So when people are talking, and how am I going to connect this? When people are talking about how social media and digital momentum is working, well, oftentimes you're looking at it through the lens of what content you are consuming. And if you are interacting with content you hate, you see it more. So that's kind of something where I think that there's people that are interacting with Democratic accounts where they're saying like JD Vance is weird, and then they reply, it's like he's weird, and then they see more and more of it. Well, the fact of the matter is you shouldn't be probably recommended that because you don't agree with it, but that's kind of why it's coming across your feed. Does that mean I think millions of people across America think JD Vance is weird? No, actually. And also, I think that if I ask a random person, if I ask 100 random people in my city right now, I don't think actually like any of them would very likely be able to say these random Twitter comments, for example. And they still have a purpose. It still matters. I'm still saying like Twitter matters because it's not meaningless. It does matter, but it's very, very easy to think, you're in a silo of sorts, and like sometimes that's not always the case. So let's next Google and Meta's secret teen targeting ad scheme, a masterclass in hypocrisy. In a shocking revelation that totally won't surprise anyone, Google and Meta have been caught red-handed in a secret scheme to target teenagers with ads, despite having rules against it. Sources say they even code words and euphemisms to cover their tracks, because nothing says, "we care about children," like being really sneaky about it. Is there any tweet here? And this is something weird about Grok. I wish it would give us a little bit more detail here, but not the end of the world. All right, let's go into Explore tab. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. So the Trump campaign criticized Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for providing free tampons in school bathrooms, including boys' bathrooms. Advocates argue this is essential for many students, while critics question the necessity of having, excuse me, I have hiccups, having tampons in boys' bathroom, and express concerns about potential waste of resources. The issue has sparked a debate about the appropriateness and necessity of providing menstrual products in school bathrooms for both genders. Yeah, this is an example like of how media framing is. So like the Trump campaign is criticizing Governor Tim Walz for supplying free tampons in school, but advocates say it's essential for many students. That's not what Trump said. So like Trump was talking specifically about the boys' bathroom. Trump was talking specifically about tampons in the boys' restroom. That's the reality. That's what Trump was talking about. So if you're gonna talk about Zamia, like don't misrepresent the headline. That's what CBS and others are kind of doing here. I feel like tampons for boys in middle school. What? So Tim Walz campaign criticizes, or Trump campaign criticizes Walz for state law providing tampons in schools. Wait, yeah, this is something. So grades 4 to 12, 4 to 12. How many transgender kids are there? Also, I don't think a kid can be that, but like I think that's so other weird. Like I don't think you need to have tampons in a boys' bathroom. I'm sorry. Stolen valor. Let's look at that. So that's video one. Let's look at the video where. So guys, that's Governor. So that was JD Vance. Oh, I keep trying to introduce the clip. It keeps falling through. So guys, that was JD Vance talking about uh, Wallace's military background, and this is the clip that surfaced in which Wallace said that he had actual combat experience. So let's play it, guys. All right, so he's essentially saying that he carried those weapons in the war, and that's not the case at all. So that is something I think can be used against Tim Walz' stolen valor. RNC chair. What's up with the RNC chair? RNC chair Laura Trump has announced that she is building an army of 100,000 poll workers and over 500 lawyers to monitor the 2024 election to stop the fraud. Okay. Let's see. What does Doug Burnham say? So we want to look at next here. Where's Trump? Mar-a-Lago. Be this is I want to see this Borderlands. The Borderlands movie is coming out. I think it's supposed to be pretty good. I hope it is. Is there any reviews for it yet? Let's see. Borderlands Rotten Tomatoes. Oh no, it's bad apparently. Or those are the critics, but okay. Maybe it's something where the critics are wrong and it's actually a lot better. That's why I want to tell myself, but I'm also a little bit suspicious that that's not the case, if I'm being honest with myself. 27 reviews, damn. I'm still gonna see it. I'm still gonna see it. Uh, it comes out tomorrow, but it's actually in theaters today at my MC. think I was thinking about seeing it today, but I think I'll probably see what was this movie, Trap instead. Trap movie. God, that googling that might give me something. I'm like, if I have not safe for work checked or something, I would have gotten very different probably results. So Trap is something I've heard is very good. So I think I'm gonna see Trap probably. Let me buy my tickets. I use AMC AOS by the way. If you're looking for something to get affordable movie tickets, you get 3 movies a week, and this is not an ad or anything, but you get 3 movies a week. It's like $20 a month, and they can be any format. So I end up seeing a lot of movies because it's like I paid $25 for essentially like 12 movies. So it's like what, $2 a movie? It's not bad at all when you think about it. This is perfect. Able to get a nice back row seat all to myself. I like to get the back row in this one theater because it's kind of like perfectly elevated, but also has a good, very good sound. So again, Borderlands is not great apparently. Well, I don't think it's the fault of games coming to the screen that like it doesn't work. At the end of the day, it falls on the writer, right? This is sad. Wait, what? Is that the poster they use? I think the poster is not the best. Ooh, this is dope. That makeup's fire. So this is what Patricia Tanis from Borderlands franchise versus Patricia Tanis from Borderlands movie. 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's kind of funny. Yeah, so we should play the Borderlands game, the Telltale Borderlands. We should do that, right? Telltale Borderlands. We'll have that added to the queue. This was a good game. I played it years ago, and I remembered it was very, very good. Or at least I thought it was good. Sometimes you view things with rose-colored glasses. So that's not great. From 0% to 4%. That's progress. That's progress. Okay. So that's unfortunate, but so is life. So I'm going to see Trap today. In a shocking turn of events, social media has erupted with heated debates over the age old tradition of marriage proposals. Twitter users, clearly with nothing better to do, have taken to the platform to express their outrage over women proposing to men. From declaring it the most embarrassing thing on planet Earth to swearing they'd rather eat a bus tire. These keyboard warriors are fighting a battle they didn't know they signed up for. The internet has never been so divided over something so trivial, proving once again that Twitter is the battleground for the most pressing issues of our time. Thank you, Grok. I mean, I does the dude care? I don't know. Like I think I so I would feel a little bit uncomfortable if I was dating a woman if they proposed to me. But granted, this is something I think that should be discussed ahead of time. Actually, like I think for the most part, like do people just randomly get engaged? I don't think that's how it works. I think for the most part, you actually discuss it beforehand, so you'll know. It's like you usually you'll know whether or not you're going to be asked as a man to actually like do something like or not. So like I feel like this is weird. But no, I feel like it's just their life. They probably agreed of this, or probably said whoever wants to do it first, or whatever. I don't know. I think most men would prefer that the woman did not propose, though. She's not happy. She just had to propose to her boyfriend because he didn't want to marry her himself. Okay, so I don't know. This thing is not super important to me. I would probably fall on the side that says like for the most part men should propose, or at least whoever's the dominant partner. If it's two guys or two girls, I guess. I don't know. So that's the proposal story. And then I think we're going to do a couple more stories before we kind of wrap it up. Yes, I hope everyone's kind of enjoying having a good day. I think we made the best of this. We kind of started so now we have a pretty good crew here. So let's see. Um, Everyone gets a market cap boost. All right, so apparently stocks went up. Yeah, it usually happens when stocks like fall. A bunch usually will have a bounce back or something. I don't know. I'm not a day trader though. Wait, it's not a swing state, but it's a key Senate race. Since there's no way that the Democrats are winning Montana. Like, sorry, with Kamala Harris, they're not winning Montana. Several protesters sought to interrupt Vice President Kamala Harris's rally in Michigan on Wednesday. After chants continued, she directly addressed them. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking. Okay, why don't we watch this? So we're watching Kamala's rally from yesterday. So that's the video, guys. I think we get the gist of it. Kamala's Detroit rally ends in disaster. Thousands of stranded staffers break down in tears. Okay. I lied. We'll do one more story, guys. One more story, and then we'll go. What should we do? For me? That seems too complicated for me this morning. It needs something a little bit slower for a turtle. So here's different polling. Yeah, for all the people saying like the polling from Marquette, here's the Rasmussen, 49% Trump, Harris 44%, RFK Jr. 3%. Granted, Rasmussen tends to be a pretty Trump-friendly pollster overall, or at least conservative-leaning pollster. But yeah, I think that Trump is still in the lead in this race overall. That's my vibe on it. And I think that after Harris, there's a little bit of momentum because I don't think she's going to be able to kind of keep this going, and especially after Trump has this Elon interview on Monday. I think you're going to see the polling be kind of at least like even or Trump with a small lead going into election day. But yeah, anything can happen, anything can change. It's been a crazy summer, guys. So I am actually going to call it here. This is going to be the show. Good Morning X for today. This is August 8th, 2024. Thank you for coming. My name is Misha, X Society. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff.